Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So, today I'm going to paint with black paint rather than the water soluble pencils. A lot of you uh, don't want to get the water soluble pencils or can't afford them or what have you. A lot of people have given me links. I'm going to try to hook them up here, but a lot of people gave me links for places where they are less expensive to buy them. And I've showed you several different kinds you can get at the craft stores in your area, AC Moore, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, that type of thing. But a lot of you want me just to use regular black acrylic ink. So this is a piece of watercolor paper that I did a background on in a video that's probably before this, where we use items from home, recycled items, to use in your mixed media. So I thought, well, I'm going to use this and use my paint. So I'm going to take Payne's Gray, but which is just a lighter black. Maybe I'll use, let me see if I can find my black. I know I have a lot of gray because I love using gray. And really, the paint comes out as gray. Yeah, I'm just going to use this. You'll see, it's just going to be, it's black. A little lighter, not as harsh, but same thing, good thing. So that, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to water it down a little bit. I want it to be watered down so it's ink-like. Ink-like, ink-like. And you can see how it gets, and I just kind of spread it around because you want it to flow and move on your paper. Now, this would be a good time that you could use your extender. Deco Art has a good extender. You can get extenders, at your craft store or whatever. And what you would do is just add it to this paint. It doesn't change the color. And what it would do is make it stay wet a little longer. I'm not necessarily worried about that right now, but we'll see as time goes on. So I'm just going to start. I have my brush, and I don't want too much paint on it right now. And a lot of times you can look in your, I love when you guys write me comments when you see backgrounds that I do and you're like, I saw a face, I see this, I see that. So I'm going to kind of look, and I kind of see, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but like right here, it's kind of a shape of a face and kind of lips in there. So I think that's the way I'm going to go with this. And I'm just going in, and I'm going to kind of mimic that with my, and you can see I'm doing the face, the outer face first. Now I might do looking that way, or I don't know exactly what way I'm going to do the face, but we're going to start there. I'm not going to add the neck yet because I really don't know exactly where I'm going with this, and that's sometimes the fun part of painting. So I'm going to just turn it this way because I'm going to be working. And if you want, you can give a couple squirts of water where you're working when you're using your acrylic paint. Just going to make it flow better and that kind of thing. It's not gessoed, this paper, and I've really only used sprays on it, so it could sink in a little bit, which I think just gives to the I just think it makes it look good. But I'm just going here with the eyes, just like that. And I think, I don't know, I'm just going to start with a little bit of a nose because I don't know what kind of nose I want to do. And then I'm going to do the mouth. And I've not went back in for any paint yet. I'm just kind of sketching out what I want. And then a little bit. And I always dab off. Who doesn't like a good dab? Alright. And I'm just laying it in. And we have her face. Now, do I want eyes closed or do I want eyes open? I think I'm going to go eyes open, and I'm just going to bring this black up a little bit and just give it a little bit of shape for some shadowing. I know, looks frilly. Looks silly, frilly. Oh, I'm silly. All right, and then some eyebrows. I want that a little darker. And you can go back in with, which I might do with some white paint or something, just to get those eyes out and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know here. I want her to kind of be looking that way. I don't know if that looks disjointed or not, but I'm just gonna go with it. I'll worry about that after. And I'm gonna lay some of the, and this is a size, what size are you? It's an angle shader and it doesn't have the size. So, sorry, I don't know. Don't like when there's not sizes on there, but I can almost guarantee that I got it at one of the craft stores. Or sometimes people send me brushes, so. Okay. All right. I like it. You still definitely can see the part. Now you can see up here, this is, if you watched my mixed media background, when I did this background, this is where tape was. So it's completely clear there. So that's going to be darker or whatever we decide to do. I'm going to take a little bit of white and I'm going to work. You can see it's bleeding out a little bit and I'm okay with that because I want to do a little bit of shading anyway. So I'm just going to take some white and I'm just going to go into the eyes here. And kind of gesso out. Except I'm not using gesso, I'm using white paint. And just kind of lay that down there and then do the other side. Now you know you're going to get a different look with using paints other than those, other than the water soluble pencils or your watercolor crayons, whatever you're using. But it's okay. You just go with it and you embrace it, and you'll be so surprised when you're done of how good it looks. This is just playing and having fun to do in your art journal, or if I have tons of watercolor tablets and mixed media tablets and that I love to work in. Okay. And I know the eyes are a little different. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to give a little highlight here for her nose. And I can go with my black if I want and take that down, but I don't want to. I'm going to go a little white underneath her eyebrows. And I'm going to block out her mouth a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of highlight it. Like that. Okay. Well, I feel a big hair girl coming on because I love making them. All right, so I'm going to take this with some white, with some black and make a light gray. And then I'm going to go back in here. Because I want to stick with the black and gray. White's okay, but I kind of want to paint her face in a little bit. So I want to mute this down a little bit. But you don't have to. You do whatever you want. Get her nose in there. I'm going to have to go a little darker. After. So do any of you guys watch, do any of you guys watch Hannibal? Because we watched the series finale last night. We love that show. I'm so sad they took it off. But they canceled it. I hate when they cancel shows that I like. All right, so I'm going to pull this up. That and Big Brother we're obsessed with, which we've watched every season. But we're just into, I don't know why, but we like it. Okay. You can see I'm just kind of, you know, one of the things I do is I really, in my mixed media, work my brushes. I work their nerves. Now you can see I'm making this side darker. So I worked over in my white. Now I got a little more black with my white. So it's going to be a darker, it's going to be your shadow color. So use your paint and just use it to your advantage. And when you see you need a little bit, maybe more gray or you need more white, you just go for it. It's just mixing. Because you can always, it's all this is paint. You can always go back. I'm going to take it right under the eye. And blend it. I know here is going to need some shadow. I'm going to bring this down here because I know that's going to need some. Under there. Just bring it up, and you can definitely see the lighter over here, and you can always rinse your brush. Try not to rinse your brush too much though, unless you're going straight in for your white, and that's what I'm going to do here. But try not to rinse it too much because all that color, they say you make mud, but with this you're going to just make a darker gray, and that's okay. It's all right. You're just kind of playing here with some lighting and highlights. And the side over here is going to be a little lighter. That's all. Just kind of blending it out a little bit more so there's no real major strokes. Okay. All right. Dry, wipe off your brush on on your paper towel or something that you have there. Now, that way you're not going in the water. What I'm going to do is I want this to be a little darker over here. So I'm going to take a little more of that dark gray and I'm going to come in here with my eye and just kind of lay that in. Now the reason I'm using watercolor paper is because that's number one, I did my background on it, and number two, it takes water. So when I use these watercolor papers or pages for my art, usually I'm using the water soluble pencils, colored pencils, or something to that effect because the watercolor paper is for watercolor. So, you can do it on a canvas and all that. Just make sure you got a canvas that's gessoed. And if you don't gesso it, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like I said, this wasn't gessoed. So, all right. So now I want to bring in, I just want this little highlight here for the nose. I'm going to blow that up because we got to do the forehead. So I'm going to bring that up there a little bit. And a little bit of this here. And blend that. Okay. All right, you can definitely see the shading and, where we're going to go. We're going to worry about that after the nose. I'm going to go in and just lay whatever's on my paintbrush down. No matter what color it is. It's going to be lighter than the outline. So I'm just doing that. And blending it out. And I want a little bit darker going in here. Just blending it in a little bit. I just keep going over the same, very lightly though, because you don't want it to be too dark. Okay. All right. Now I just have to do this light little bit right here and blend this out. Yep. All right. I'm good for that. I'm going to give a little bit of a nose here, the lip thing. So you can kind of see that. And I'm going to leave that sit, and then I'll make it go out. So now I want to bring in, and essentially I'm just going to kind of clean off my brush, what I have on there. And you can see I still have my eyebrows in there that I'm going to put in, but I'm not going to, right now I'm just going to try to clean off my brush the best that I can. And after I get that, I can kind of blend this a little bit more. And then worry about my lip dip. I need a little bit more for that. Yeah, I like pushing things, you know, like kind of, what's it called? Like stenciling almost. Anyway. All right. So now to do the eyebrows. So I'm going to do a little black, really dark. And just lay them in. And you might need a little bit more black, make them darker. Now we got our eyebrows in. Now the hair. All right, maybe clean this off here a little bit and make this shadow over here. And then kind of go that way. And I can bring some of this in just to kind of get this little bit of water. So it flows a little better because it's drying out. It's all right. I'm just going to lay this in so I don't waste that white. Kind of blend it in there. Okay. Here we go. All right. So the hair, I'm going to put this in my water. And I want to get a bigger brush. And I'm probably going to use this one, which is, what are you, baby? You are 1/2 inch, and that's all it says. So it's a 1/2 inch. I'm assuming this long means a 1/2 inch. And I'm going right in for the black, just straight up black. And I'm just going for it. I'm just going to kind of put in some hair. Okay, and just put it in there. I like doing these where the background, now I did mute the background down because it was very bright, but I love doing this kind of thing with using the like so dark on something that's you know, a little bit brighter, kind of mixing the two. That doesn't bother me. I know some people it does bother. It doesn't bother me. I like the irony of life sometimes. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. And that's, you know, that's what that is for me. And you see, we've only used 2 colors. The black or the gray, whatever color you use, black or Payne's gray, and white. All right, and have her hair. I did a lot of these yesterday. I just kept painting and painting. Okay, so you can see hair's done. Nothing too fantastic. Now what we can do is, let's my brush off here and dry it. I want it fairly dry. I'm going to take a little bit more white and put it here. And then I'm going to mix some of it here because I want to pick up some of this dark color on here, but not too much. I'm going to do both sides of my brush, just turning it. And then I kind of want to just sweep it through as highlights almost. Nothing too nothing too fancy or major. And then I like going back in with the dark color one more time. And it just adds a little bit of highlights, that's all. Okay, gotta grab a thing of paper towels for in here. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit more black. It's inky, I like it. And I'm just gonna kind of pull it through with really no real idea. Just short strokes. Just like that. And you can always, make them a little more matte. Everything's wet here, so it's going to dry. So I'm just going to take this and kind of close that background coming up a little bit. And now it's going to be working. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to work on the eyes. So rinse this one off. I'm going to go back to my smaller brush. And then I want to talk about one thing real quick. Okay, for the eyes, I'm going to make them pretty dark. So I'm just going in. Gonna just kind of wing a circle in there as her pupil for now. Yeah, a little bit more of that color in there. Now I can see this eye is darker than that. I mean, it's bigger than that eye. But I can play with that. I can just go in and get some black. And I can close this eye up a bit. Like that. I can add that on that side. And you just keep playing until you get it the way that you want it. That's what we're doing here, is just playing. You can give her a little bit of eyelid there. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to use a smaller brush and just take this black, it's a dark gray now, and I'm going to have to use different black. That's not real black. I must have got mixed a little bit too much. So I'm just going to do a dot. I get asked a lot why I only squirt out a little bit of a little bit of paint, but honestly, if you watch my videos quite frequently, you'll see sometimes I waste so much paint and it drives me nuts. I hate wasting paint, but sometimes I do. I don't know why. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but it's just how it happens. All right, that's better than yeah, much better. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here with just a little bit of that fuzzy alert. There was a fuzzy, but it's gone. All right. Good, good, good. Now I want to take some of that light gray. I just want to tap it a little bit to get that in there. And I can see some of my mixed media is coming out. I don't even care. But what I do want to do is get my nose in there good. Just so it's a shadow of the nose. Oh, okay, good. Love it. I'll go up here a little bit, cover up some of that background that's coming through. And the lips, I want to make a little lighter. I'm going to lay them in with white for now, just for a second. I want to keep that shadow in there, but I want to go in with some, now that it's still wet, I want to add some gray. Just keep adding dark to your kind of where you want it to be, and then I'm going to take some of my dark on my little zoom here. I'm just going to go in. And add the lips in. Let's see. Come on, baby. Here we go. Okay. Now, oh, my neck just cracked. Whew. I'm going to go in. I'm going to add a little bit of an eyelid. And then I'm gonna rinse my brush. Gonna rinse it. Oh, I was gonna sneeze there for a minute. I'm gonna use just black. You can use your black paint or whatever. And I'm gonna dot in or you could paint it in whatever way you want. I'm just gonna put in pupils. And you can also take, if you have a marker, if you don't, you don't. If you want to add a little bit of more hair. And that's all I'm doing with her. But I love her. I love it, love it, love it. And I love the difference in the colors. You can see what's still wet there. But it's darker over on this side, on that side. It's all blended nice, and I love it. So that is using no water-soluble pencils. That's just using your black paint that is watered down with some white paint as well. And you come up with a great, I mean, you know, so you don't have to have those pencils. You can do this very simple with 2 colors. Now think about it. Think outside the box for a minute. Wonder if you used purple and white or pink or white. Like the one I used for my one bald-headed woman, whatever it was, that I'm going to be making a canvas of. No hair, no nothing. I use purples and those kind of colors. So This is just from black and white, and you can make a nice portrait. So, or a nice painting. Where I'm going to go from here, I don't know. But I just wanted to do this. I know you guys have been waiting for me to do it with the paints other than the pencils. I'm thrilled with all your emails. I love getting your emails and requests. Keep them coming. knittingnthings@netzero.com. All my information is down below. And I just have a blast with this. Now, that marker I use is a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. Pitt marker. Let me show you. I'm gonna turn it this way. Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, big brush. This is the big brush. They come in all kinds of different sizes. They are permanent once they're dry, but as you can see, let's see if I have some more playtime on here. I have just water on my brush, and you can go and you can soften these because they're not all the way dry yet. So if you don't want them, so when you buy these markers, you get kind of double duty with them because you can work with them as if they're watercolor markers. Briefly, I mean, you're not going to have all day to sit and do it. It's not like you can do this and then come back tomorrow morning and it still be movable, because that won't work. But, for 5-10 minutes after, you can just kind of go in and soften them up a little bit if you want. Use them in the eyebrows. You can use them on whatever you want. So that is that face with the black and white acrylic paint. No water soluble. You definitely can play. You definitely can do it. It's so much fun. And what's even like what else I would do? I mean, I wanted to do this for you guys strictly black and white, but what I would do, because I like to do this, I would add a color in her lip, and I would make her eyes a bright green, or green and yellow, or blue, or even a amber brown or something of that, and that be all the color that goes along with her face, which I might do still after this, and then figure out what I'm going to do on the background to kind of finish her out a bit. I have some ideas for down here, but I'm not going to keep you and bore the crap out of you for that. So I hope that you guys like this. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you guys like this. I love doing this kind of stuff. Keep your comments coming. Keep your requests coming. I love you guys so very much. Be kind to each other. You never know about somebody else is fighting. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.